We have got a major find here. This guy's our ticket to fame and popularity. All we gotta do is get him enrolled in school, and he'll help us become popular.
That's harsh.
We'll make him famous. We'll teach him some stupid pet tricks and get him on Letterman.
You're wheezing off his gig.
Oh, please, he's a caveman, for God's sakes. I mean, look at him. He's practically a monkey. We found him. We can do whatever we want with him.
We. No. You. I just want to be his friend.
I'd sell him for money.
You would sell him
Yeah.
to science or just like to maybe
National Enquirer, TMZ?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought you were talking about like having him as an escort or something, you know, like escorting a
Not
caveman.
sell him out. I mean,
Sell his body
Well,
to science
well, really.
in more than one
Be
way.
an experience.
Have a night with Brendan Fraser.
I mean, he is great. See,
You could wheeze the juice, Badway. You could wheeze
never
the juice.
wheeze the juice.
So, welcome back. This is the Last Row Podcast. My name is Drew. As always, I am joined by my caveman partner, Mr. Badway.
Shush.
What's going on, Badway?
Pretty good.
This is episode 64 of the Last Row Podcast. Our website is thelastrowpodcast.com. We are on Twitter at The Last Row Pod, Facebook.com/The Last Row Pod, Google Plus. Head out to Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. Got another one this week. We are dangerously close. Hit the buzzer to this
Use your
JCVD
peepers and your nubs. Give us a good shout.
Get some grindage. Give us some grindage, man. Dangerously close to that split.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. You know, I'm
I'm not.
practicing.
I'm not.
I'm ready.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
So it's Encino Man, 1992. Drew, do you have any experience with Encino Man as a kid?
I watched this movie a lot.
It's a PG movie, right?
Should probably not be PG looking back on it, but
PG 92 PG.
I definitely
Yeah.
watched this a lot growing up.
So 1992, it's a teen film, a comedy, a caveman movie. It's not a caveman movie. Who put that?
It's kind of a caveman movie.
What is it? It's
a friendship movie.
It's a friendship movie. Yeah.
But it's actually not a friendship movie. It's
No.
how to sell out your
Yeah.
friends.
It's how to not be a good friend.
How to
movie.
not be a good friend. That's exactly what it is.
Directed by Les Mayfield.
Is that short for Lester?
Lester Mayfield.
Leslie?
Leslie Mayfield.
That
Do you
sounds
know
like
he directed one of like my underrated all-time favorite movies, Blue Streak. Martin
Blue
Lawrence.
Streak is the ultimate
Directed.
Cinemax HBO movie.
He also directed Flubber.
Yeah, actually, I've never seen Flubber.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
It's Robin Williams.
Yeah, you just skip it. IMDb 5.7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes 16%.
Too low.
Too low.
Way too low.
Way too low.
Way too low.
California teen Dave Morgan has a more boring name than Dave Morgan.
David Morgan.
Is digging a pit for a pool in his backyard. We have thoughts on the pit later.
I can't wait to talk about this.
When he happens upon a frozen caveman and a block of ice, aided by his goofy friend Stody, Dave transports their discovery to his garage where Neanderthal thaws. Is that like disrespectful?
I don't know. Yeah, but they're not around, so you could say the word, I guess.
I feel
If
like
they
it's
were
like
around.
the caveman N-word. You should be saying
Yeah,
Neanderthal.
it's a bad word.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if caveman walked in here today, we called him a Neanderthal.
What's the right word?
Well,
Homo
like,
erectus?
They called John Spartan a Neanderthal and Demolition Man, and I thought
Yeah.
it has crazy
true.
connotations in that movie.
That's true. But he
Total-
was alive though. They were talking about Neanderthal as like a historic person.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't
Probably
know.
you shouldn't say
You shouldn't say it, no matter what the connotation, no matter what the context.
You
It's
probably
just
shouldn't
It's a
say it.
forbidden word, in my opinion. When Dave and Stoney find the living and thoroughly bewildered caveman, they attempt to pass him off as a foreign exchange student named Link, resulting in many misadventures.
This is after The Legend of Zelda, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What was that, like 89?
Yeah, he's the second Link.
So he's the second Link.
The second most famous Link.
He's the missing Link, but he's the
Yeah.
second most famous.
Well, I don't know. He's most famous Link to me. I don't really play Zelda.
When they
So-
said, we'll call him Link, at first when I was a kid, I thought they were talking about Zelda.
You were talking about the
not
video games?
the missing Link, because I was, 1992? I was pretty young. I didn't really get it.
A Link to the Past.
I did not get it. There's a couple of taglines for this movie. You want to rate them?
Sure.
I'll give you the first one. Where the Stone Age meets the Rock Age.
Is the 90s the rock age? Is that what they're getting at there?
I mean, he was dancing to some metal music, I guess.
There's a lot of metal music. Well, not metal music, but like
I like the soundtrack.
California butt rock. I don't know.
Butt rock. I guess you could call
Metal.
it butt rock.
Yeah.
I didn't know what those bands
It's
were.
not bad, but I wouldn't call the 90s the rock age. Like, that's kind of weird.
This one's certainly lacking
Reaching.
on the tagline department. I'll give you a second one. Maybe you can think of a better one by the end of the show. But the second one, a chillin' new comedy in full Neander vision. There you go.
It doesn't even make sense.
Again.
They just made up a word.
It doesn't.
They just made up a word. No, F plus.
You
Nope.
need to think of a better one because we need the creative minds at work on this. They're really severely.
I'm going to think of a better
lacking.
one by the end of the movie.
They're severely
By the
lacking.
end of the podcast, I'll think of a better one. Don't worry about that.
Talk a little bit about the budget. $7.5 million
That's it.
in 1992.
That's it.
What do you? Let's go through this. What did they spend the money on? Right. So this is 1992. 7.5 is it's a decent amount, but I feel like movies back then they're costing like 20 million to make, maybe minimum, and it made 40 back, so it did well.
Okay, so they spent money on a hole in the ground.
They probably
Right.
rented a school.
Rented a school.
Well, how much is a hole in the ground? They dug it probably for like, I don't know,
Rent the
20K.
bulldozer, or what if they really had Sean Astin
I
just
think,
digging
I
it?
think if you really want to make the movie right, they need to have Sean Astin and Paul. You know, Pauly Shore's not digging that hole.
Yeah.
He's just gonna sit there and sip some lemonade.
He's got ropey arms, man. I don't know.
Ropey arm.
What if they had Sean Astin like from scratch start digging that hole? It's like, get to work, kid.
No wonder he was so pissy the whole movie. He's just digging a hole the whole time. How much does it cost to rent a school?
I don't know, man. For like, they were in there for like 5 scenes.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know? Science lab.
I think there was no special effects to be had in this.
No.
There's like a fog machine maybe for
So how much does like you go to the store and you buy ice? There's like a 20-pound bag for
Yeah.
like $5
$5 bucks.
$5-6.
yeah.
So how much is that big block there? Like extrapolate that. So that's probably like $60.
Maybe 60
Yeah.
to 100, I guess. Maybe they had Brendan Fraser lay in a tub and just froze him.
When they wasted the Slurpee when he was wheezing the juice, that's
at least
like,
$3.
That's like $3.50, right?
Back then, probably that's at least $3. It wasn't like the big gulp.
Blades, the skating rink.
The ice time is expensive.
Ice
man.
time is expensive. So
I would venture to believe that the biggest expense they spent on this entire movie was renting that hockey rink. Because think about it. Like,
Yeah.
ice time is not cheap. It's hard to get.
yeah, really,
How-
that's it. Like they did not spend money on this movie.
They
They had a lot of montages.
maybe the makeup. No, the special effect. What it was, the car driving on its side.
Yeah,
they
that's
made
it.
the rig
Yeah.
for the car to drive on its side.
That's it.
Maybe, and that's
Yeah.
probably it.
That's it. If it wasn't for that, they would have made the movie for about $300.
And they went to a museum. So I don't know. Was it like 30 people? What does it cost? Maybe it was a free museum.
Oh, those are
It was
free,
like-
man. Those
I don't
are
know.
free.
In New York, they are, right?
I don't know.
But I don't know.
Maybe
Or
they're free.
DC, they are. But maybe there was like $5 a
Yeah.
person.
Sure.
So I don't know how they made the $7.5 million to make this.
Was
maybe
it all
somebody-
Pauly Shore?
Pauly Shore probably
Did they
got
just
paid
spend the
because
money on Pauly Shore?
wasn't this one of Brendan Fraser's first movies?
Yeah, like
So-
nobody knew who Brendan Fraser was.
He probably didn't
Yeah.
get paid very much
Sure.
out of this. I'm sure.
Was this pre-Rudy or post-Rudy?
I think it's
I
pre-Rudy.
think it's pre-Rudy.
Pre-Rudy, but
Yeah.
but barely. It's
Yeah.
barely pre-Rudy. So he's still up and coming.
What is he? He's a lord of some ring, right? Is he Bilbo Baggins? Who's
No,
this guy?
not yet. No, that's
Who
like
is he?
That's like 15 years
Is
later.
that his name?
Samwise
It's
Gamgee.
Sam what now?
Samwise Gamgee, Badway.
Samwise
Know your Lord
Gamgee.
of the Rings.
Is that like one word or is that like
Samwise?
Sam
Samwise is one word.
Sam space? Oh, Samwise.
No, Samwise.
Space
Gamgee.
Gamgee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you tell he fell asleep in Lord of the Rings? Like, I don't think he didn't like
Didn't
that.
get past the menu, Drew. Didn't get past the menu.
There are no awards to be had for this
They
movie.
didn't win any awards. They won a Teen Choice Award. You know
Yeah.
what? The MTV Awards didn't exist, did they?
Yeah. Well, Pauly Shore is disqualified because he was a VJ, wasn't
He
he?
was a VJ. He was.
So it's like,
So you're not allowed.
but
Yeah.
maybe he would be allowed because it's like they're pumping their own product, like WWE making movies,
Yeah, of course.
like with John Cena and all
I
these
don't know.
guys.
Like I bet Bill Bellamy won like an MTV award for any given Sunday or something. Dan Cortez won something.
Who was your favorite MTV VJ?
Oh man,
I loved like Dan Cortez.
Dan
and that show
Cortez
that he was
with
in.
the sports show and then the Rock and Jock. Oh,
Rock and
so
Jock-
good.
Rock and
Yeah.
Jock basketball it's criminally missed.
Yeah, with
They
the
should bring that
25
back.
with 25-foot rim.
And the hot spots, like
spots.
the actual hot spots, like I looked forward to watching
Yeah.
that. Like the softball game was not as good, and then the flag football
It's a
game
slow
was not
paced
as
game,
good.
but I think they edited it well.
They did. They edited
Yeah.
it well, but
Fast-paced.
We're talking about 90s. Is
Yeah.
everything? This movie epitomizes the 90s,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Like from the lingo to everything. Like they should have just had a basketball game with Rock and Jock in
Yeah.
here. Like it would have made the movie even better.
Were you a Carson Daly fan? I mean,
No.
we went to high school, junior high and high school, right at the
TRL?
peak of TRL.
No,
So you rebelled against Carson.
I thought the guy was a tool.
Yeah, but like he kind of like was a chameleon. He adapted to whatever guest was
That's
on.
what I didn't like
Yeah.
about him.
But, at the same point, he could have an easy flowing conversation with anyone.
He was fine.
Yeah.
Like, he's still got a late night show, but it's at like 2 a.m. or something, right? Like, they gave
Yeah.
him like the butt of the late night thing. He's
Yeah, like,
Fox
and I
or
think he's
something.
like fine in that spot. I don't know, man.
I'm not really down with like the dudes trying to wear black nail polish,
Yeah.
like on a couple nails. That he just wore it on like 2 nails, right?
It was
So
weird. Yeah. I don't know what he was doing.
It was
there.
like a statement,
Yeah.
I guess, but I don't know. I give this award favorite movie of 1992.
Yeah.
If I had to be honest, like I don't know, I actually didn't look at the list, but it's definitely up there. Favorite movie of 92.
Favorite movie award of 1992.
Of 1992 of the Last Row podcast.
The Droobies, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's just jump right into the characters because I don't know the best way to tackle this. It just makes sense.
It's just a caveman movie. Let's get it on.
Let's start
just
with
go.
the actual caveman himself, Dave Morgan, because he was just not a good friend, Badway.
No.
Like kind of a tool.
No, he had no friend skills. And that's why he had no friends.
Is he secretly the villain of this movie?
He's absolutely the villain of this movie. Now, like he tries to be cool at all costs. When it's like, it's over, man. He's a senior in high school. The prom's coming. It's like, it's already over. Just get on with your life and go
Yeah.
to college. And
You
be someone else.
Yeah, reinvent yourself then.
Yeah.
Like it reminds me of Matthew Kidman when he was like, just trying to have one good time. Like
Yeah.
my name is Matthew Kidman. He from The Girl Next Door, shameless plug, one of our earlier episodes, lastrowpodcast.com. He just had no life, right? And I'm fine with like he doesn't need to be popular. I don't know what his obsession with being popular was. Like I'm gonna dig a hole in the backyard. I'm gonna make a pool so that people can come over after prom and hang out.
He was delusional, Drew. I mean, he was delusional about this girl he loved. He was delusional about the fact that he was going to finish this pool. He was delusional about how he was going to show the cavemen to the world.
Have you ever tried to dig a hole, just in general?
I feel like I would get three scoops in and I'd just quit.
Have you like planted something? You know what I mean? Like you get,
Yeah.
I'm saying go to Home Depot,
Yeah.
get a shovel and try to shovel in the ground in Pennsylvania here.
Yeah.
Like it's so much harder than you think because
Yeah,
you
so-
hit rocks.
So we're going to halt this right now, halt the movie. We're just going to talk about this pool, all right?
Yeah, we need to.
So-
we need to.
The pool was like pretty well into like the journey, right?
Yes.
So how long do you think that took?
I feel
when
like
did
the
he
whole
start
year.
this?
He started in like August.
Let's pretend that this movie takes place in, I don't know,
It's got to be May,
March?
right?
April?
Yeah. Well, it's got to be around that time because of the prom.
Yeah.
I think he was digging since April or since August
You think since the
because
last
he
summer?
probably thought,
Okay.
man, next year I'm going to be a senior. I gotta have this sweet pool. I'm gonna have this thing. It's beautiful weather all year
There's
round.
more to building a pool than digging a hole in your backyard, Drew.
If you notice at the end of the movie, they just filled the mud pit with water.
Yeah.
Like disgusting.
So let me ask you this. All right. So in all the costs of building a pool, right? How much of that expense is the actual digging? Probably the least, right?
Well, I mean, if you have to bring in a backhoe or something, maybe the
but
equipment
still,
rental is
rent that thing.
expensive.
You could have rented a backhoe for 30 minutes and made as much progress as he made from August to April.
Could have got a
right?
bobcat.
Yeah.
You know, go get one of those things.
Bobcat. Speaking of 90s guys.
But what I don't understand is like, if you're the parents of this kid, are you just like, because they seem so like blasé, they just didn't give a crap about anything, right?
They had no idea that they let this quote unquote foreign exchange student
Yeah.
into their house. They're not paying attention to Rudy. They're not paying attention.
I mean, he's digging a hole in their backyard. Like, did he ask them, or is he the type of guy to just go get a shovel from Home Depot with his allowance?
If I'm the dad, if I'm the owner of that home, and my kid is just making a mess of my backyard, like it's your ass.
That was a nice house too.
It was a nice house.
That was a nice.
Past tense.
Like, you know, when you add a pool, it's like it increases your property value.
Yeah.
Like he definitely took like a $50,000 hit off that
Yeah,
house.
oh, it's a decrease, man. You got to fix that. He probably dug it all wrong. He might have hit a pipe or something.
It reminds me
You
of
hit the main.
like Lot 48 when Andy
Yeah.
Dwyer is
Yeah.
living in the pit behind.
Yeah, they're gonna fall the pit, man.
Exactly, and he thought this was a good idea to just start digging.
And I love like in the opening scene where his bitch of a sister, like she was just nasty,
Yeah,
man.
she was really.
But really, can you blame her? Like,
no, he sucked.
Yeah, he sucked.
He was
He's
awful.
like, you're a loser. No one's gonna come swim in your pool, and she's right. No one's
she
coming to
was
swim in
right.
your shitty pool.
Nobody was gonna swim in that pool,
No.
no matter how like hot it was, because they just go next door. They'll go to Matt Wilson's house.
Matt Wilson probably has a pool in his house, right?
He prob-
Acting like he's the only guy on the block with a pool in freaking Estonia or wherever the hell. Where are they?
Encino.
Encino. Estonia, man.
You know what's funny? Like back in '92, You know, we talked about, what was it last week when we said, oh man, you didn't realize that, what was the title of the movie was what meant what it was?
Oh, Con Air, yeah.
You didn't know that it was Convict Air?
I didn't know it was Convict Air, yeah.
I didn't realize that the movie, and when I was in 92, that it was about the town of Encino, California. I thought it was some type of caveman term.
Me too. I think you're not alone there. You're not alone there. Like, how's an 8-year-old supposed to know what Encino means? It's not a common town.
It didn't make any sense to me. But
I thought Estonia was a made-up place, too.
Me too,
yeah.
But it's real.
Yeah, it's a real place. What is it, like Northern Europe or something?
This is, join us, everybody, for confessions.
Some kind of Viking town? Estonia?
come join us for our shocking confessions
it's north of the wall, Estonia.
King in the North is manning the Estonia Tower.
No, but yeah, that pool's never getting built. No one's swimming in that pool anyway. Luckily, he got sidetracked, found a damn caveman at the bottom of that thing.
So he found the bowl first, right? He finds the bowl. Like, Pauly Shore's hanging out with him. Like, he just all of a sudden decided, like, oh my God, I know what this is. Like, and total plot hole in the movie. He's digging a hole and there's cave paintings on the wall. Yeah. But they show it after the fact that he digs him up. Like, it was so bizarre to me.
Yeah.
Like, it just didn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Who cares?
It was foreshadowing. Who knows? They weren't thinking about it too much.
Hanging out with him is his buddy, Stoney.
Like, I got a question about Stoney. Why is he friends? Why is he friends with him?
I think they were.
Why is he friends with Dave?
I think they were outcasts. It was kind of like the outcasts, or maybe they grew up in like middle school and they were friends then, and they just kind of didn't separate.
But Stoney is so chill and such like a kind heart, and Dave's like a dick.
Yeah, he's very superficial. He's very superficial.
I knew a kid that I was friends with, and we were like a couple of us were friends with. I'm not going to name names,
Hope
but
you're not talking about me.
No. I didn't. Yeah, well,
you know,
we were friends with this kid, and he was like, he didn't have very many friends, and we were like, semi-related to him in a way.
Yeah.
And B, he was a huge asshole, like a huge dick, right? So I know these types of people where it's like you don't have any friends, and I'm not making fun of you because you don't have friends, but there's a reason why you don't have any friends.
Like he wasn't friendly.
He wasn't friendly. He was a total jerk to everyone. Everyone. And that's what this Rudy kid is.
Was it like Rage Against the Machine type? But like I don't understand, because Rudy seems like he could be nice if he would just give up the whole I need to be popular shtick. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
He's delusional.
He seems like he has a nice family. I don't know if it's the parents.
They're not paying attention.
That's probably what it is. He doesn't have the attention at home. He needs the attention of Robin, who we'll talk about a little bit later. If it was actually, we talk about Matthew Kidman, was the juice really worth the squeeze? I'm not sure it was, personally.
Yeah, but Stoney here, I mean, he seems way too nice a guy to be hanging out with this guy who's like hyper stressed out all the time, worried about being popular. Stoney doesn't give a shit.
Where do you think they met? Do you think it was a middle school friendship? Like what?
I guess it had to have been, but
they're total opposites. Though. It's really odd. But they got the handshake.
Dave, aka Rudy, aka Sean Astin, is the type of friend who, if he would have gotten a sniff of popularity, would have dumped Pauly Shore in a second in middle school. That's the type of jerk that he is.
1000% agree with you.
And so why would Stoney hang out with that? I don't know.
Stoney, man, he's just trying to get some grindage right now. He's just trying to get some grindage.
Trying to get some grindage, trying to, get with some nugs.
he's just hanging out.
Nugs.
He's just hanging out, and he's actually, I liked him in this movie. I know Pauly Shore is very hit or miss for people.
Yeah.
He was definitely a 90s phenomenon.
Oh, yeah, and he was hot, especially at this time in 92. Like it was full blown straight off the MTV. Did you ever watch his show?
No, I didn't. I didn't. Was it like a variety show?
It was, in a way. Like, it was almost like, I don't know, like Tom Green, if you remember Tom Green.
Yeah.
Or the type of show where he would, like, walk up to people on the street and he would, like, do his weasel thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was, like, he'd catch people off guard and he'd do weird stuff. And, like, he'd just to film the reaction. And then it's like an improv type thing.
This was on MTV or no?
Yeah, it was on TV, yeah.
Okay.
And they might have played it in between, like, they always do with, like, they'll show him do a skit, or like they'll play videos
in between,
then it'll come back and all that. But it was all like unscripted, where it's like he would go up against unsuspecting people and like do his weasel thing, and people were like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah, I guess he wasn't very well known at the time.
Yeah,
I was not really a huge fan of him at the time. I liked him in this movie, but I didn't really watch a lot of the other movies that he was in, like Son-in-Law. I didn't see till many years later.
Yeah.
I forgot what else. Biodome. I didn't really see that till a lot.
In the Army Now.
That's actually I like that movie. But he's a weird dude, and I don't understand like what When we were watching this the other day, what did you say? Like that was like a thing in the 90s to like be like a hippie?
Yeah, like he was dressed like a hippie, or like he was wearing like the mesh shirts, and he like the way he dresses in this movie is like how he dressed on MTV.
Yeah.
But it was like kind of like an act. Like it's funny because it's not really him. It was a character that he was kind of playing full time.
Yeah, it's like you said, the Tom Green thing.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, like, because in Entourage, like, I think he was in a couple episodes of Entourage, wasn't he? Where he's just like a normal dude.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand. But so he was a VJ as well as the show. Like, I don't know the history as much.
Well,
as
he would mainly be his show. Like he had his own show, but he would be there like on the beach house, the show that like when they would go in the summer, like he would just be there with a microphone, just talking to random people as in between videos they played.
Seaside at the shore, the grind.
Yeah, sure, the grind.
The grind at the Seaside Heights.
How funny is the grind? It was just people dancing.
It was
just people dancing.
I know, and you know what's funny? Like it's kind of pathetic, but I probably watched that show. I'm sitting there watching people having a party.
Yeah,
it's like, is that pathetic or what? Like it probably was pretty lame.
No, yeah, it's totally. That's why they. I'm sure it had viewers. Why else would they play it? Right?
it was a popular show, and they took it to see. I remember it was an event when it's like at Carson Daly. Speaking of him, like. We're taking TRL to Seaside Heights for the summer.
It was awesome, man. They did like the karaoke and all that stuff, man. It was great.
They had the house, and they would go, and you could go, and like they had it on top of that roof, and you could wave down. It was great, really wild.
So I mean, not to submarine our own Encino Man show here, but like I think Pauly Shore is a really interesting character. We got to dive into it here for a second. I, being the good podcast host that I am, I caught up an interview of Pauly Shore. I think it was like 2015 with Joe Rogan. And he was talking about like his success, his fame, and then his like steep downhill, right? And it was kind of sad. The guy seemed like totally depressed, and he was saying that, yeah, I watch my old movies, I watch Encino Man, and I just get sad.
Like sad because he misses it.
Because the party's over and he misses acting, and
that is pretty depressing.
Yeah, and then Joe Rogan went on to ask him about how come you don't act in movies anymore? What happened? How did you stop getting roles? And he was saying how, I didn't really listen to my management team. I did the weasel gimmick too long.
He didn't reinvent himself.
He didn't reinvent himself, right. So he did Encino Man, and then he did the second movie was a Son-in-Law, I believe.
Son-in-Law, yeah.
And they were like big hits. He had a 3-picture deal with Disney. Then the third movie was In the Army Now, which wasn't that great. And his management team told him to not do it because the script wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, I'm going to do it. And then that was bad. And then the next script he got, I don't even remember what the next movie was. Wasn't that good either. And then when you have, from watching Entourage, you have 2 duds in a row.
You fizzle out.
Yeah,
you got to do
fizzle
Benji.
out. Oh, this guy's the weasel, and it's over. The weasel's done.
He's got to do Benji.
Yeah, he's got to do Benji.
He should have done it.
They did Biodome, and like, even though that's a cult classic now, it did horribly.
I did not like
theaters.
that movie when I first saw it. I just didn't like it, but I like it now.
But he said he was totally depressed. Like he said, he spent his 30th birthday crying.
That's sad.
That's very sad.
That's really depressing.
Because like he said that he like had to turn into a man, and he didn't know how to do it because he was always used to being the weasel, and the weasel's not flying anymore.
Why do I? And I'm gonna just put him out on blast here. Like, why do I feel that he was like on Celebrity Rehab or something?
No,
was he?
He claims that he was never like addicted to anything. He was not on drugs. He was not an alcoholic. It's just his career fizzled out because he played the gimmick too long.
Because I feel like I saw him on some type of show recently, and I'm totally lampooning his life here. Saying
don't besmirch the name of the Wheeze.
You heard it here.
Come on.
You heard it here. Pauly Shore was on Celebrity Rehab.
We're not breaking news here, people.
No, but I feel depressed after hearing that a little bit. I feel bad for him.
And it makes me like, and I hear that, and then I watch the movie, and it's like, this guy did a pretty good job.
No, he was good, and he fit the time perfectly.
Yeah.
Like he was perfectly like who else would you put in this?
Exactly.
There's nobody else.
Oh, and they also, so he signed that 3-year deal with Disney, right? They gave him this movie. They wanted him to be the caveman.
Oh man,
yeah, and he said, no, I can't do that. I'm not going to be good with that role.
Actually,
so they rewrote the best friend role for him.
Do you know who was going to be the best friend?
He didn't say.
He didn't say. That's interesting.
Yeah.
He got more speaking lines, and
that's the reason. His manager, he actually listened to his manager there. The manager told him, "You're not going to be speaking in this movie for the caveman. You're not going to be able to be Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
You're not the weasel if you're a caveman." And he said that he didn't think he was a good enough actor to just pull off like the grunts and the facial expressions. He would have tried too hard to be the caveman, whereas he gave Brendan Fraser props for just being the caveman.
Yeah,
and he just let it happen.
I have an interesting theory about that I want to get to in a minute because maybe we should just talk about it because
Yeah.
My theory. So we can talk about unearthing the caveman, but before we talk about how the process, let's talk a little bit about Brendan Fraser and his performance, because my vision for how they filmed this movie was that they didn't give him a script at all, right?
Explain nothing.
They maybe just told him, like, you're a caveman, you're here. Because total method actor, right? Like, you're fish out of water. Like, tell him, you can't speak, you can't do anything, just go along with whatever they do. Because in my head, like, he's walking around and he's not allowed to talk, all he can do is grunt. But I just have this imagination right now of him walking around in the movie and then just leading him around because he doesn't know where he's supposed to go because nobody told him.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's how they filmed this movie.
Yeah, I like it. And just the only direction you have is you're a caveman and you understand nothing.
Like, it's bizarre, but wouldn't that actually work? Like, if I told you you're going to be in a movie, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. You'd be totally confused as to what the hell you're supposed to do. It's the perfect way.
I mean, I couldn't emote though. Like, I can't. I'm not going to claim that I could be the Encino Man.
Right. I'm not saying you're a professional actor. I'm just saying, Brendan Fraser was a professional actor. So get him in this movie. Don't really tell him what he's supposed to do, and just have him wander around and grunt.
Yeah.
Like, how would you rate his performance?
I think it was great. Like, at first I was kind of skeptical of how much he was actually doing, aside from just like playing a crazy person, right?
Yeah.
But then when we got to the museum scene, where he gets all sad because he sees like his relatives, like maybe his brother was there or something, right?
Yeah.
And he's crying and he's trying to like make a fire and all that. His family, like, there's some real emotion in those eyes, Drew.
Talk about depressing, man.
Real emotion.
Like, I was getting a little shaken up there for that scene.
That's how we got the mummy. That's how we got the mummy.
From the moment that he comes out of the block of ice, let's talk about like how he was unearthed, because they dig him up. We talked about digging the pool earlier. There's this giant block of ice. They pull it out with like a snapper lawnmower. Yeah. It's like Pauly Shore's driving this thing with like he's got his bandana around his neck and his bell bottoms. He drives this thing out. They put it in their, like, just their garage.
Garage with a bunch of space heaters.
There.
Yeah.
It's chilling. Do you need a space heater in Encino, California? I feel like it's probably like 70 degrees all year round.
They had a lot of them.
They had a lot of them.
Yeah.
But
you probably do, because, when it's like 50 degrees, it's probably freezing there.
Yeah, they're wearing like winter coats.
They might not have a furnace in their house.
That's true.
So you have the space heater. You bust on the space heater with the few nights that it is cold.
Yeah. So he's block of ice just chilling on like a couple, I don't know, like piles of wood or something. And they hook up the space heater. Like, that's where Dave gets this plan. Like, we're gonna thaw him out. It's our thing. This is our thing. Like, we found him. We need to like dig him out. Like, what the hell are you expecting to like take a man out of ice? Like, to me, that's a dead body.
Yeah, that's a dead body. You don't expect him to come back to life.
So here's another interesting thing I was thinking as this was happening. Let's say you unfroze it and he's dead. What the hell do you do with it?
Yeah.
There's a dead body.
You killed that guy.
Are you a murderer?
Yeah, you killed that guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was watching this thinking, dude, if he doesn't come back, you've got a dead body that you need to dispose of.
That's right.
So as far as the police are concerned, there's no dental records. There's no DNA records. But there's a dead body in your house. You dug a dead body up. Like, what are you...
Your ass is busted.
What would you do?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell would you do?
There's no talking out of it.
So how do you feel about this plan? Like, if you're them, like Pauly Shore's, he's down for whatever, right?
Yeah.
He seems like he's chill.
He seems like he's down for the science of it.
He likes the idea of, hell, man, why not?
And Rudy kind of like tricked him with like, oh man, we could make some money off this, man.
But what kind of money are you going to make?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, and it's a double-edged thing. If the caveman is indeed a caveman, but he's dead, so that's like best case scenario for money, right?
Yeah.
So, but why then did Dave or Rudy? Should we kind of call him Rudy?
Just call him Rudy.
We'll call him Rudy.
Sean Astin.
Yeah. He goes to school the next day before the thing is thawed. Goes to his girl Robin, his wannabe girlfriend. And he says to her, hey, I got a caveman. Want to come check him out after school?
After he told Pauly Shore he's not allowed to tell anybody.
Yeah.
Like, what was he thinking?
How is the caveman, the dead caveman, going to impress the girl? Now, if the caveman was alive, that's cool, right? But how is the dead caveman going to make him popular?
Hey, Robin, there's a dead body in my garage. Want to come check it out? Like,
there's a dead. I got a dead guy in a block of ice. Want to be my girlfriend?
This is the same guy.
So delusional.
Is carrying a nude picture.
He's got tasteful nudes.
He's got tasteful nudes of him in a bathtub. He's like, oh, we were naked together. He wasn't even naked. She was. She's in a bathtub.
I've
Cringe.
got a lot of comments that I'm just not going to comment on because we're going to
Cringe.
get in trouble.
Cringe.
So move on from that.
We have a parental advisory, but not that kind.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like, hey, I got a dead body in my garage. Come check it out.
Is he he's gonna get popular? Like, forget the pool. This dead body's gonna make me popular. This girl's gonna go out.
I think
with
she's
me.
going to call the cops.
Yeah.
She's going to say, hey, police, there's a dead body in this guy's
Yeah.
garage.
So when he's out, when it was a block of ice, he's probably worth money to somebody, and that's something, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be okay with selling that. I would have to profit from that. It was all my property.
Yeah, I mean, it's a find of the century, right?
But when the dude thaws out and he's alive, I'm also with Rudy, and that you can't just like bail on this thing.
Yes.
Because they will dissect him.
Yes.
They will trap him and kill him,
Yeah.
whoever they are, the government.
You got to get him and help him become a citizen
Yeah.
of society.
Where do they take this thing? If say the government gets a hold of this guy,
It turns into E.T.
is it like an Area 51 thing?
Yeah.
Like, where do they take this guy? At what point do they realize that he's from the Stone Ages? Like, do they do like some kind of like test on him? Can they do carbon dating on him? Like, can you do that on a human?
But I feel like, I guess
Do they count the rings?
This
Like,
is
I don't
not-
know. How do you do it?
like the tree.
Yeah, do you cut him in half and count the rings? How do you do
No,
it?
I guess you do a DNA test, but
Yeah.
did they have DNA tests in 92 at
I
that
don't
time?
know.
Like,
Is it,
the
are they,
genome wasn't mapped.
in 92, can they determine that this is a caveman?
Like, I know we were in advanced society in 1992, but I feel like, it's 2017 now. Like, society has advanced, like, exponentially. But they didn't have the human genome mapped, I don't think,
Yeah.
fully in 92, did they?
I don't know, man. It's just a lot of questions.
But weren't they, there was like TV specials of them digging up cavemen and stuff, wasn't it?
it's always like it's always a sci-fi thing.
Like, I remember reading like National Geographic and seeing
Yeah.
the creepy picture of like a guy that fell on a mountain in like 800
Yeah.
and he was like preserved in the ice and it's like weird looking.
Like,
That
how
creeped
could he?
me
How
out.
could he be alive though? I feel like you have to be treated like a demo. Let's go back to Demolition Man because
Yeah.
they're kind of like John
They're kinda
Spartan's
the
kind of a caveman, right?
He is.
In a way,
He was frozen.
he's frozen, but like it's like specially treated, right?
Yeah.
So this guy was especially treated. He just had an avalanche fall on him, right?
Yeah, which also was bizarre because he was wearing clothes at that time,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, and he came out in just a loincloth.
Yeah, he had like a wolf coat on or something.
So he also was clean shaven.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: if you're cryogenically frozen, it's not even cryogenically, right? Like
Yeah.
John Spartan was cryogenically frozen,
Right.
Like with a flash freeze
With
or whatever,
science,
with
yeah,
that
yeah.
goo or whatever the hell
Yeah, the
it
ball
was.
of goo or whatever. Yeah,
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? So they put the ball in. This guy, like you said, he fell in an avalanche and he froze into a block of ice. Would your beard grow while you're like sleeping? Like, shouldn't he have
No.
like a monster beard like Forrest Gump?
I don't think it would.
It wouldn't. Like,
feel
his,
like the
his
cold-
hair. His hair was long.
If you're in a frozen state, I feel like all of you freezes too.
And wouldn't a caveman have a beard? Like, how did he shave? Like, was that like appealing to his
Yeah.
cave lady?
Why did he have a beard in the,
He should have
in
had
the
a
opening
beard.
sequence?
It made no sense to me. That
Yeah.
was like the most unbelievable part of this movie. Like,
Yeah.
I believe that a frozen man could come from your backyard,
It's a good point.
but I don't believe that he would not have a beard.
it's a good point.
He didn't have a razor.
See, this is
Did he
why
have a
we have,
bic?
we have to break these things down on the last
what I'm
row.
saying.
We have to we talk about these cavemen. I'm not gonna do the whole this is the unbelievable. There's no way this would happen though.
I think
but-
it is believable. It could happen.
But when you freeze John Spartan and Demolition Man using science, the conditions are absolutely perfect to preserve the human body.
and I'm sure they lost a couple of people in
So
that.
if I go up in the mountain and I get trapped in an avalanche, can someone just thaw me out 100 years from now?
I feel like you need to use not a space heater. You need some type of like flash heating,
Yeah.
to like quickly do
It's
it.
got to be quick. It's got to be a jolt.
Yeah.
It's got to be snap me back in.
Like, I will get a flamethrower
Yes.
out.
But you can't go too
That's
hard,
true.
or else you can't burn me too deep.
Yeah, because
I'll get singed.
you'll get singed. Your hair,
I'll get
your beard will
singed.
fly off.
My beard will fly off.
Dude, we talked about this before. I forgot. Was it top 5 scariest movies on one of our episodes?
Yeah,
right?
your caveman movie.
So there's some weird ass movie. I forgot what the hell it's called. Maybe it's called Caveman.
the
or
Man
something.
from Earth,
or the
something
Frozen.
like that.
I don't know.
Frozen
I
Man.
forgot. Iceman. I think it's
Iceman.
called.
Iceman.
The Iceman,
cometh.
right?
It's the Iceman.
There's some weird movie from
Not Top Gun.
like the 80s about some caveman that they find in the Arctic.
Yeah, how do they find him?
And I think he was in a block of ice somehow. I don't even remember.
It's the same thing. Avalanche, you could just cavemen could survive avalanches, but you or I could not.
I'll be honest. What am I? 32 years old. I'm too
Who knows?
scared to go
I don't
back
even
and
know how
watch.
old you are.
I'm too scared to go back and watch that movie because I feel like it'll bring back those nightmares.
Yeah, you
that
have the
I had
nightmares from you
like
as a
a 5-year-old.
child, right?
Of this guy thawing out. Like he was like blue. His arms were in the air. He was like having
Yeah.
cardiac arrest. Like, that's what would happen. But Brendan Fraser walks up and gets in the hot tub.
So I got another. I don't know why this is interesting to me, but so he gets out. He's so dirty. Like, he's the dirtiest thing in the world.
That's the definition of filth.
How do you clean this guy? Like, in one bath?
I kind of liked how...
I love the
mud,
sequence.
Like the mud in the hair.
Yeah.
But his teeth, like, they brushed his teeth and his teeth look like movie star teeth.
How many times would he have to brush his teeth for him to have good breath?
1,000?
None times.
None times.
There's not enough times.
No, but they made it look like his teeth were rotting.
Yeah.
So he just used some toothpaste and it was all gone. Get some Trident in there.
And they made him like the Pauly Shore did his hair. It was like the best haircut ever. Like, it was such a 90s, like, rebellious, wild, I just rolled out of bed, but I look really cool haircut.
He had the sideburn fade.
Yeah.
Not like the cut off your sideburn, like the fade up.
Yeah.
And
then it was like dangling down.
Yeah.
You know?
He definitely, and he said, "Oh, you got hair like me." I was like, "No, dude, his hair's better than yours. His hair's better than
mop
yours."
top.
On your melon, your
The
noggin.
mop top on the melon. Not the spikes on the melon, which Matt had.
Yeah. That's while we're on the topic of that, what the hell else was he saying? I wrote down a couple of these things. I try to write this down because I couldn't even keep up with them.
Fast and Furious with the Pauly Shore.
He said Pauly Shore said things like, "I just want to munch," which could be interpreted multiple ways.
Well, it's a very sexual term. We'll
just want to munch.
We'll
just leave that at that. He said melon tweakage, which I don't think he was talking about Gonzaga's melon.
No,
tweakage.
I think melon is your head. So
but what's tweakage of your melon?
Like, you kind of have to like check your head, maybe, or you kind of have to like. It's a way of thinking.
You going mental.
Or what if you're like tweaking your melon? What if it's like a hairstyle?
Yeah, okay. That's
Could
true.
be either one. I don't know. Who knows?
He also said splatter on the street. I don't even know what that meant.
Fall down and bust your ass?
I guess that's what that is, yeah. He said buff spikes chilling on the top of his melon.
Yeah, that's Matt's awesome haircut.
Matt's haircut, which actually was a pretty damn good haircut. He always said wheezing off of which I think is like you're mooching, right?
Yeah, you're smooching. You're mooching. You're
like wheeze the juice. You're mooching the juice.
Mooching the juice. Yeah.
And my favorite.
If you're wheezing his gig. He said wheezing your gig. That means you're trying to steal a style.
Trying to mooch.
You're trying to steal your style.
My favorite line that he said was at that Spanish bar when he said Spanish is like guacamole, chips, and salsa. He was trying to teach him about Spanish, and he's like, "Yeah, it's like guacamole, chips, and salsa." He said so many things. Like I couldn't even write them all down.
Do you know what grindage is?
Food, right?
It's food.
Grindage is food.
Yeah.
He said so many.
Or
other
the
things.
act of eating. I don't know.
The act of eating. I wonder if all this is on UrbanDictionary.com. I'm sure it is. But he gave him pretty sweet haircut.
So yeah, beak equals nose, melon equals head, lobes equals ears. You know what the best line of the movie is when he, basically Sean Astin, Rudy, freaking Rudy. I always get this problem in every episode we do where I want to call the character 5 different things.
Yeah.
What he was in another movie, what his real name is, and what his name is in this movie. Or Sam J?
Samwise.
Sam J?
Samwise. Sam J. Sanjaya?
Yeah, Sanjaya.
This is like episode, what is it, 64? People know you by now.
Yeah.
I like to think they do.
I like to butcher the names.
I like to think they do. Or they stop listening right now. We don't know.
So Rudy's like, he's basically calling themselves losers. Like, he's kind of like dressing themselves down. Like, oh man, we're a bunch of losers. And Pauly Shore is like, he's very oblivious. Like, he's not a loser to himself. He goes, I'm very unique. I'm underrated, but no one knows about me because I'm in Estonia.
Yeah.
And that's such a great line. That's such a positive line. And that's who Pauly Shore is.
He was great in this movie.
Yeah.
Let's be serious.
That's who Stoney is. And that's why this guy does not belong to be friends with Rudy, because Rudy's bringing him down.
The other best part about Stoney was that when they were at dinner, we could talk about how the cover story for this was that he's, Linkovich Chomofsky, whatever, right?
Exchange student, but the parents don't listen to Rudy. So he says, oh, what did you just forget? And they were like, yeah, I guess we did forget. Sorry, son.
Let me ask you this. You let's say you were in high school, right? You go to your mom and you decide that you're going to thaw out a caveman from your backyard.
Just decide, yeah.
Do you think that you could pull one over on your mom to say, hey, by the way, you forgot about this exchange student that I told you we were going to get?
I don't care how busy you are.
That's not something you would forget.
No, but like they must be just supremely, like, how Kevin McAllister's parents have no idea what's going on in their kids' lives.
They don't even know they own a kid.
But they have like 6 kids, don't they?
Yeah.
So it's like that's if Kevin comes up with an idea, there's like 5 other kids they got to worry about. They could maybe forget something, but these guys, they got 2 kids.
He's the oldest one, too.
The oldest one.
Like, he should be paid attention to.
He's such a loser. His parents don't even pay attention to him.
That's exactly why he is the way that he is. Let me ask you this. Like, this guy's got this identity, Linkovich Chomofsky.
Yeah. Great name.
From Estonia. Like, does he have they just go to school, right? They're like, oh, wait till we see you. wait till you go to school tomorrow. We're gonna take you to this awesome place.
Yeah.
He shows up to school. This dude like has no idea what's going on. Like he's scared. He was playing with a lighter 5 minutes ago in the room. He almost burnt the house down.
Just saw a plane and his mind almost exploded.
You can't give a caveman a lighter. He's gonna light everything on fire.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if I gave my 1-year-old daughter a lighter. Like that's what that is.
Not even a lighter. If you gave her like a torch,
like
that's already lit.
Like she's gonna light everything. The house is gonna burn down. But they take this dude to school. Like, do you just register for class? Like, does he have a social security number? Like, how they just like put him in class? Like, oh hey, he needs to get scheduled.
It's Rudy. It's Sean Astin. Nobody cares about him.
He's like,
whatever, hey, buddy. I got this guy, exchange student. They're like, yeah, whatever, go to class.
I'll take him to Spanish. Yeah. Well, we got it.
Like they can't be bothered to hear what this kid has to say. He's so terrible.
But as you heard in the opening, like his whole plan is, we're gonna make this guy something so we can be.
He's gonna make us popular just because he's a caveman. But why would the caveman be popular? What if he's not popular? Yeah, what if he's a freak?
What if he murders somebody?
What if Matt was right? This guy is just a freak.
What if he murders somebody?
Yeah.
What if he murders the teacher?
Yeah, he almost killed himself the first day.
This movie is making me think of the recut trailers that UK Lee sends to us, Lee from UK. I love those things because I feel like this could turn into absolutely a murder movie.
Could be a horror movie, yeah.
Horror movie?
Well, he almost sexually assaults a girl immediately.
Yeah, he walks right up to
Nugs.
But it was like totally weird because she was definitely into it based on the conversation.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, I'd love for somebody to take control.
They love the bad boy. The chicks love the bad boy.
We talk about that guy from that thing, that girl from that thing, Robin Tunney from The Craft.
Oh, yeah.
The teacher was the blank Trek limo driver.
How about that? Yeah.
This movie's full of people. I think you said Rose McGowan.
Rose McGowan cameo? Oh, yeah.
Brendan Fraser's first real movie. Yep. I mean, this movie's like breaking the walls down here.
Yeah.
What do you think of this plan? Get this guy in school.
I don't think they should have taken him to school first day.
Would he make you cool?
It's a lot.
Would he make you cool? Do you think he would in a perfect world?
Well,
would he make you
taking
cool?
the temperature of the school, I guess so, because like they're all into this like mysterious guy who was just, he wasn't listening to anybody. He was too cool for everyone, right? And that's what kind of bugged Matt, the bully, about it, I think.
Like he didn't care to be cool, so he was cool.
Like he did not like respect the hierarchy, you know what I mean? And that's what made him cool, is not caring.
Yeah.
In the 90s, the coolest thing you could do is not care.
That is very true. Being apathetic was actually very cool.
Yes, good word.
The apathy was off the charts with him.
Yes.
He just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, he was just oblivious.
But like, how would he not just fail out? Like, was he registered, or was he like when Sean Hunter decided he was just going to go to, I'm in college now. He sat in a college class.
They don't, he's just there. He's just, Sean Astin. Like, yeah. You gotta, we know. Go away.
I feel like the whole plan backfired because this girl, Robin, that he's really into, he thinks, oh, I'm going to show her this caveman. She's going to love me for it. We're going to be so cool because I found a caveman. She started getting into him herself.
Oh, yeah. They all got into him.
They were all loving him because, like you said, he just didn't care.
Yeah, the one girl, he came up, he was sniffing her hair. He was reaching for her melons, her nugs.
I mean, what do you think? Do you think that this could have ever worked out in a perfect situation?
To where Rudy would have gotten what he wanted?
I mean, I guess it does at the end of the movie, but like, you know.
Yeah, I don't think so, though. Like, no. Like, because they like Lake. They don't like him.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he doesn't have friends. Just because Lake is cool, Rudy's still a dick.
He is, and he like you think
he's a geek dick
because you're a geek.
Matt's like a bully dick, but they're still dicks.
They're all dicks. They really are.
They might be friends if they actually sat down and talked for a minute.
Let's talk about Matt for a second.
Yeah.
How does he rank against, let's say like a Mike Dexter?
Oh man,
they're very similar.
Yeah,
very similar. They're both dumb.
Yeah,
they're both kind of just hate everybody.
Both jocks. One does football. One does hockey.
His hair. I got to give the hair to.
The hair goes to
Matt though.
Yeah. He can command a room better with his hey!
Hey! It's almost Handsome Dan-esque.
As opposed to Mike Dexter's, I'll kick everyone's ass in this room, to where like no one respects that. Matt's never drunk in this movie. No, it's a PG movie.
That's true. It's Disney.
Yeah.
If this was today, I think there would definitely be a party involved with alcohol.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Where there's a pool, someone else's cool.
Not a hole in the ground.
And then Rudy would be pushed into it.
Not a mud pit.
Yeah.
It's like Can't Hardly Wait. Like we talk about that, right?
Rudy would get pushed into it, and then Link would jump in, and everyone would think it's cool that Link jumped in. So then everyone would jump in the pool.
And then he'd get out and be like, "What? It wasn't cool when I did it."
Yeah. Everybody cheers when Link does it. But no, Mike Dexter's still better than Matt. But I got a special place in my heart for Matt. I feel like they didn't use him enough.
He should have been used more. And, when he was fighting him, like probably the best bullying scene of the movie was at the Blades place.
Oh, yeah.
When they're on the ice rink.
The skating rink, for sure.
He pushed him out on the ice, and it was definitely unfair because he was on skates. It was 100% unfair.
Yeah.
And he's just pushing him around, and they're still playing the game around him, which is the best part.
Yeah, he stops the game so he can bully someone. Yeah.
But the rest of the guys are still playing.
Yeah.
He's just walking out. Like they're playing around them.
All right, I'm going to sub out, guys. I got to kick this guy's ass real quick. So he punches Link in the face, and he took it. The new kid took it, Drew. How do you feel about the new kid taking it?
I think it was the right move.
Is it better than throwing a punch back?
Yes, because it proved, I don't care about your punch.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
Shake it off.
Like
I'm not going to cry about it.
He shook it off, and he was just like, what? And he's clearly got the bone density of, like Captain America there.
It's like, it hurt a little bit, but, you kind of sucker punched me. I don't care what you did.
He looked more confused than
Turned
anything.
around, yeah.
I felt like he was kind of like, hey, man, we're all friends here. Like, why did you punch me? But Rudy turns it around. What a jerk.
Yeah. You got to defend yourself. You see, I have a theory that he's a caveman, right? That's not my theory. That's obvious. He's a caveman.
Your theory?
Cavemen don't punch each other.
Yeah.
They don't know what punching is or like fighting with your fists. A caveman will tackle each other, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they'll like smash each other with rocks and stones. They'll wrestle, try to smash your head open, but they will not ball their fists up and throw a punch at your jaw. Like that's not how they fight. They fight like animals.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
like imagine two like bears fighting each other. That's how cavemen fight.
They're clawing at each other.
They might claw at each other. There might be some slappiness going on there, but it's not going to be balling a fist, punching, and defending yourself by putting your dukes up. That's not how cavemen fight.
To take this movie down a darker path, we keep going. This movie could have gotten real dark if he punched him, right?
Yeah.
And then he just bashes his head in on the ice.
Yeah.
Because that
could have done that. Yeah.
I mean, it's like
you take the head by the hair by his. How did Pauly Shore say it?
I forgot. Spiked on his noggin.
Spikes on his melon.
Spikes on his melon.
And just like grab the hair, and just smash his head into the ice.
Buff Spikes chilling on the top
place
of his
gets
melon.
super quiet, and then Rudy and Pauly Shore just like slowly back out the door,
and
like dissociating themselves.
And then they really bail on him.
Yeah.
And then the cops come and
say you give Link a gun, right? How soon does it take for him to figure out how to use it?
I think he would shoot himself because he's not gonna.
He would like point it at himself.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you never used a gun before, I feel like you're like, let's say you don't know what a gun is. I feel like your first inclination is to look in the hole, like the chamber of the gun, and then to shoot it.
Like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, and then
it's very bad design by the guns. It's like it makes you very curious what's in that hole.
Like, what's in there?
What
does this lever do? I don't know. And then you kill yourself. That's what would happen.
Got to tell Big Gun they've done it all wrong.
But this was like strike number 2 for me for Rudy here because I keep calling him Rudy now.
It's Rudy.
For Sean Astin, because not only did he want to get this guy to be cool, now he's not fighting back. So he's making me look like a loser. It's like, no, dude, you're actually just a loser.
Yeah, you're still a loser.
You're not doing the right thing.
If you remember in Spanish class when we first learned that the cheese is old and moldy, Robin's friend, I forget her name, the curly-haired girl that Link almost sexually assaulted in the hallways, and she was like kind of into it.
Yeah, she definitely was.
Yeah. She leaned over to Pauly Shore and told him, hey, can you drop your friend off at Blades tonight? Not, can you guys come to Blades?
Yeah, drop your friend off.
Can you drop your friend off? Pauly asks, hey, can we come too? And she's like just disgusted by the question. So they weren't even invited there. So there's no making them look bad. They already look bad. So anyway, we've been talking about Pauly Shore's career and cavemen's shenanigans for almost an hour now, so we got to wrap this up quickly. So other shenanigans after he gets assimilated with the school, takes driver's ed, drives the car on 2 wheels, which is like an iconic scene in the movie. It's
Radmobile.
Like, I feel like everyone remembers that scene from the movie where he's just driving along on 2 wheels. Like that's the most expensive part, right? So that we've established that.
Does that driver's ed teacher get arrested?
He gets arrested.
Because he left the keys in the ignition?
Link get expelled, even though he never really went to the school anyway. You steal the driver's ed car, you're expelled, right?
I mean, it is theft.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto.
You don't have a license.
Is it Grand Theft Auto or is it like, is there a lesser?
Is there a lesser theft auto? Minor theft auto?
You got one
What's the opposite of grand?
Like minor?
I don't know. Like, what's the opposite word of grand? Like, nobody knows. No one's ever asked this kind of question before. Miniature?
Miniature theft auto.
I don't know.
He stole like a little cozy coupe.
I'm just thinking a grand piano, miniature piano. I don't know. Anyway, they drive the car on two wheels to this bar that's like bumping at 2:00 in the afternoon. It's
like a
Spanish,
Wednesday.
It's like a Spanish Jamaican mixture bar, right?
I thought some of Screwface thugs were there.
Yeah.
It reminded me so much of Mark for Death.
Yep. So Pauly Shore's in his element here. He's drinking tequila with the homies. Yada yada yada. Long story short, our boy Rudy gets arrested with Link because everyone leaves, scatters. They get caught by the cops.
But why did everyone run? It seemed like a legitimate establishment.
I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of criminals there. Who knows?
The cops come in. Like, I wish you could have seen his reaction. He just shrugged it off so casually. But no, it's like 2:00, whatever. Maybe you're not allowed to open that early. I don't know. It was so weird. Like everybody ran like it was a criminal bar, but it looked like a legitimate bar.
I don't know. Maybe they're selling drugs. Who knows?
I don't know.
So he goes to jail, and this is like my favorite part of the movie. He gets one phone call. He calls his girl Robin. And then we got to talk about Robin. The girl he's been after this whole movie, the girl that's so out of his league, they've been friends when they were kids and they kind of grew apart. He's obsessed over her. He has her picture on his mantle,
nightstand.
on his nightstand.
Weird,
right?
Violation.
Yeah. He's totally friend zone, but he's not even friend zone. She like feels bad for him because he's so pathetic. He calls her and he says, "Hey, I got one phone call. I decided to call you to ask you to prom. Will you go to prom with me?" What does she say?
She says no.
No.
But can you ask Link if he'll go with me?
Ask Link if he'll go with me?
That is nuclear burn.
Wow.
Nuclear burn.
I could just literally, his heart had of like just crumbled in his chest when she asked him, you ask your friend if he'll go to the prom with me? I like him better.
That's like lock yourself in your room and not graduate because you're so devastated.
Yeah. So she fell for Link too. Link wasn't even like, Link barely paid her any attention. Link never spoke a word to her. He can't speak words. All he did was like dance in the club for like 5 minutes with this girl. And she decides she wants to go with Link.
It's the thing, man. He's out of her league, right? Because he's literally out of her league.
Link all of a sudden is the most popular kid in school. He's going to be prom king, right? It's like a foregone conclusion. So she's a latcher on. She's just like Rudy. Maybe they belong together.
As we see at the end.
So we can talk about Robin here. Like, is she worth it?
No.
As the affection of Rudy, who himself is a bad person, but I guess like
it's a childhood crush,
right?
The juice was not worth the squeeze.
But she's bad. She's awful too because she's just chasing the popularity thing. She doesn't know this guy.
She was dating Matt first. That guy's a complete
How do you get hooked up with Matt? How do all these nice girls get hooked up with the school bully only to dump them by the end of the movie?
I keep thinking back to Can't Hardly Wait, the Mike Dexter thing with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
She described herself. We already bashed her because she admitted that she knew he sucked. Yeah, but she latched on for popularity and was afraid to break up with him because she was going to miss the limelight. She admitted it.
That was actually pretty bad. Go back and listen to that. That's on our website, thelastropodcast.com. Who's worse, her or Robin?
Well, she's worse. Definitely.
She self-admits
a man does worse than Robin. But then Robin has this thing about, I think she talks to Matt later about how, I'm going with Link because Link doesn't care what anyone else thinks and all that. But I think that she thinks that he does because like he's doing cool things. I think she thinks it's on purpose. Obviously, he has no clue what's going on in the world.
Like
just woke up the other day. Yeah,
he's like, "Do you become reborn? Are you like a week old?"
Yeah, he's been awake for 48 hours.
It did seem like it was like 2 days, didn't it?
It was. Yeah, it seemed very.
He got his driver's license. He played the video game a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you: did you ever play Daytona USA?
Of course.
We talk a lot about video games.
It's like 75 cents though. It's crazy expensive.
Am I crazy to think that there was only one track?
There's absolutely just one track. Oh yeah.
I know that it was like. Because you had Cruising USA, right?
Yeah.
Cruising USA, it reminded me of this game. Like the kind of game that the computer will try to keep you in the race.
Yeah.
So you're going 65, but you're not really going 65 because 65 becomes like 50.
It's all relative.
Because they have to catch the other people up. You got to go over the cactus jumps and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Daytona USA was like real. Like it had the force feedback on the wheel. What a ripoff, though, looking back on it.
It was one course.
I'd rather play that motorcycle game where you can go side to side.
Oh, yeah.
What was the game in this called? Like Badass Ride or something?
It was like Rip Run or something. I don't know.
I can't remember, but it was like, it looked like, you're going to learn to drive from that? He clearly learned. I mean, Radmobile, that was it.
Radmobile. Such a 90s word,
Radmobile.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep taking us on video game tangents. I'm sorry.
Well, it makes there's a tangent because I know where you're going, and it's about quarters for Radmobile.
Exactly.
So go on.
So he loves this game so much, and Rudy is just devastated. Like I said, lock yourself in the room for the rest of the school year. Stop digging your pool. He just can't face himself.
He'd rather her go out with Matt than go out with Link.
Exactly, because he's like your friend. Like, I'd rather you date this jerk than my friend.
Yeah.
He is the ultimate dick. This is like inexcusable to me.
I think we used the word dick like 500 times.
We
this
earned
episode.
our parental advisory today. I'll tell you, man, ultimate jerk.
Yeah.
He is so devastated by the fact that Link kind of accidentally got this girl to like him.
Yeah.
Link doesn't even care. He doesn't care.
No idea what's going on.
He's like, you know what? I've had enough. He doesn't even talk to Stoney. He's like, he puts him in the back, not even in the front of the car.
The back seat.
He puts him in the back seat of the car like a child.
Like a dog.
Like a dog.
Yeah.
I think that's what I wrote in the notes. Like, drives him away like a dog. Like, he puts him in the back seat of his like beater mobile.
Yeah.
Drives him out to like the middle of nowhere. Gives him a bunch of quarters for Radmobile and says, you know what, dude, you're better off on your own. Yeah. You need to go.
This is what has to happen. Go on, get out of here.
He is committing murder by doing this.
Yeah, that guy will commit murder himself.
Or he'll die. He'll get hit by a car because he doesn't really know.
He doesn't know cars.
He doesn't know society. He doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
Like, worst friend of all time. Like, worst friend of all time.
Yeah, you can't just cast somebody off. Like,
because you're done with it.
It is. It's literally, that's what you do to like an old rabid dog. Like, you take him out and you like tell him, go on, get out of here.
Put him out to pasture.
Yeah.
Right? He sends him off. Pauly Shore, the true hero of this movie, shows up on his moped. And he's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? He's like, oh, you got to get rid of him. It's the only way. It's ridiculous. Rudy gets into like a fist fight with Pauly Shore. You're going to punch Pauly Shore of all people? He's just being nice, man.
Pauly Shore is like the most docile human ever.
He's not trying to hurt anybody. He's just trying to be friendly. What the hell? Like, is this the ultimate violation? Like, worse than carrying the naked picture of the girl, worse than having her picture on the nightstand, worse than digging a hole in your backyard, calling it a pool,
worse than exploiting a caveman,
an innocent caveman for personal gain. I mean, come on now. What the hell is this?
No, I was all for forgiving this dude, but when he did this at the end of the movie, that was like the last straw. He's a worse villain than that.
And I've seen this movie, it's got to be at least 20 times, right? Yeah. In my lifetime. I was more mad this time than I've ever been.
Because, I mean, you watch this movie as you get older, as you get more mature, you start to realize who the real villain is. And like, we've done this in a lot of our movies where you realize who the true villain is. And it's clear that Rudy is the villain in this movie.
Yeah, Matt was just being Matt. I mean, we're not excusing his swirly given behavior here, but...
Right, but he'll like grow out of that, right?
I mean, maybe.
I mean,
maybe he will.
Dave will always have this like
inferiority complex,
and he'll have the ability to one day commit murder. I feel if he could just cast this marvel of the world. This is a caveman that he found. Like, this is history, and he's just kicking him off the side of the road. And this guy is gonna die on John Doe.
Do you know how good of a person Link was? He brought them back together after the fight. He was like, family. Yeah, this is family, and they wind up like reconciling. And he's like, you know what? You're right. Like, I was wrong. Why don't you go to the prom with her?
Yeah.
How awkward was this? Like, Link shows up and he's like the dad taking the picture of them, like going on the date together.
Link with his smoking jacket and his rat's nest haircut.
He had, again, ponytail alert. Yeah. He had the tiniest of ponytails.
Tiny little rat tail.
He had a little rat tail ponytail. Yep. Definite trope of the Last Row podcast. He took him to the prom.
Not evil, though.
Not evil ponytail. The shorter the ponytail is, the less evil it is.
True.
The longer and greasier, the more evil it is. Like Crisp from Kindergarten Cop. That's the ultimate evil ponytail.
Colin Crisp. Hall of Fame ponytail.
He's definitely in the ponytail Hall of Fame on this show.
Rat tail equals good. Ponytail equals bad.
The rat tail is... Let me ask you this. Did you ever have a rat tail?
Of course I had a rat tail.
Did you?
My mom made me have a rat tail. It was right around this time, too. And I didn't want it. I didn't know any better, but I knew I didn't want it. And it wasn't out of like embarrassment because I didn't think it was cool or whatever. It was weird to me. It was probably right around 92, 93.
You know,
I had it for like a week, and then she finally let me cut it off.
So did you cut it?
Because she would cut my hair.
Was it like a mullet or was it like a little rat
No, it was like a
tail?
little tiny freaking thing, man.
Like a Jedi rat tail or what was it?
It was like, it probably didn't go past my neck.
Okay.
Very small.
So I gotta tell you, like, I wanted a rat tail, and my mom wouldn't
You
let
could
me
have
have
my rat
it.
tail.
She
You could have
wouldn't
it.
let me have it, and I was so mad.
We gotta trade places, man.
I was so mad. But looking back, I'm very thankful that she didn't let me have it because I didn't want it.
We got a Freaky Friday this thing. We got to do something.
She wouldn't let me have the rat tail. She wouldn't let me have the slime from the Ghostbusters
Yeah,
firehouse.
nobody's allowed to have the slime.
I mean, that's like, come on, all these things that we just can't have.
So anyway, we're talking rat tails. We're talking caveman. We got to wrap this thing up. I said we were going to wrap this thing up 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Long story short, they go to prom. Link goes to prom with Robin, prom king, prom queen. But hold on just a minute. Matt's here, and he's got some proof that Link isn't from Estonia. He's not even from Encino.
Yeah, a couple Polaroid pictures.
He's got Polaroid pictures of him dressed in mud, which I guess equals caveman. Now, it's true he's a caveman, but based on his Polaroids, he could just be really dirty, right?
See, that's when you asked me earlier, how would the scientists prove that he was a caveman? Like, since they don't have the genome mapped, they've got to use those Polaroids.
Got these Polaroids.
It's like clear evidence.
Clearly, he's in a block of ice, and it's not costume.
It's ridiculous.
So Matt proclaims on stage to the entire senior class that Link is in fact a caveman, and we get cheers.
Wouldn't you cheer?
Truly is popular to be a caveman. That's how we learned that it is popular to be a caveman.
Like, when you have words like grindage, when you have words like spikes on your melon and lobes, when
and
you call
nugs
somebody
and
a
beaks.
caveman, I feel like maybe that's like a not a diss. It's like you're like pumping somebody up. Like, yo, he's a caveman.
Yo, it's a caveman.
He's awesome. He's basic.
He's a beast.
Like that's kind of what I was thinking, right?
No, I'm not saying it.
He's a Neanderthal.
Bad word.
I went there.
It's a bad word.
Neanderthal.
Don't say it.
He did, but it's like, so this automatically like made him even cooler.
Yeah.
Even cooler.
Yeah. But the fact that like Matt's giving him shit for it, they're like, screw you, man. This is good. So is Matt just not cool now? Because he doesn't think cavemen are cool?
I guess like since it's the prom, like typically the bully at the end of high school, like your fame runs out.
Yeah.
Because it's over.
It's all you got.
The party is over.
It's all you got, yeah.
The party is over.
It's like a boss fight. When the bully gets beat up, like he just shrivels.
He does.
So we were talking about this as we were watching the movie. So when he gets thrown by Link onto the cake, right? And then Pauly Shore dumps the punch on him. Matt's not really hurt. He's just embarrassed, right?
Yeah.
He's not so much hurt. What's to stop Matt from getting up and slugging Pauly Shore right in his beak?
I like to imagine that it happened because if
it's just off camera.
Like he's already dirty, so he probably figures like whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly how you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Like you absolutely get punched in the face.
Because he should still be mad, right? He just got beat by Link. You punch the pipsqueak. If you're a real bully,
he probably would have just fought everybody. He would have kicked everybody's ass.
Kick everyone's ass in this room.
He probably would.
Now you notice Meg Dexter said that he didn't do it
because he was drunk.
Because a bully gets defeated, they don't fight anymore.
Yeah, it's like
the rules.
you don't believe in him.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in the bully, the powers are gone.
Does he really exist?
He loses the powers.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with Matt. He basically disintegrates.
That's why they tell you to stand up to your bullies. Only if you do that in real life, you probably end up with concussion. Probably in the hospital.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't fight your bullies. Don't fist fight your bullies.
So the movie ends and Rudy gets his pool party in the mud pit in the back of his.
I would never go to that party. Never.
We find out. Guess what? There's another caveman. Encino woman. He
found his Betty.
Another that person from that thing.
Yes. Sonya Blade
from Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Mortal Kombat
right?
2, Annihilation. Yeah.
She's definitely the lesser of the Sonya Blades.
Definitely.
But
She's not Billy Madison's girlfriend.
No,
not that Sonya Blade.
Not that one.
Yeah.
Not that one. Not the girl from Under Siege 2.
No.
She's not that one. Did you know
that's not her either? That's
yeah, that's true.
That's Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, that's
they
Katherine
look
Heigl.
alike. They look
Whatever.
Alike. They look alike.
Yeah, they do look alike. Introducing Katherine Heigl.
Same thing.
Did you know that they made Encino Woman?
I did know that.
Because I didn't.
I did know that.
Did you watch it?
Of course not.
Do you want me to read you?
I don't think anyone's ever really watched it.
Do you want me to read you the synopsis? Because I pulled it.
Go ahead.
Encino Woman, after thawing a young prehistoric woman, Lucy, gets herself taken care of by David, a young intern at a marketing firm. That's not even English.
No.
Working on a campaign ad for a cosmetics company, David becomes Mr. Big Shot when his protege is chosen to be the model spokeswoman for her animal personality.
Of course she has an animal personality.
This sounds like a terrible movie.
So it was probably direct to VHS or like a USA movie or something, I'm assuming.
I'm surprised they didn't try to make a sequel to this.
Yeah.
Like a direct sequel.
Oh, I mean, again, the podcast cast host that I am, I did a little digging.
You did, okay.
Pauly Shore, as of 2014, was in talks with his management team to resurrect Encino Man, to make Encino Man 2.
So would Brendan Fraser star in this?
Well, I probably would have liked to, but I mean, Pauly Shore would have liked him to.
Yeah, right.
But obviously, it didn't go anywhere. So.
Well, isn't Brendan Fraser like, there's like a thing now, it's like he's missing on the internet or some stupid thing. It's like an internet meme where it's like, get Brendan Fraser work. He doesn't have any work because he hasn't done anything since like, I think The Mummy Returns or something.
You know what? Some guys are just rich and they don't want to work anymore.
He doesn't need to do anything.
You know what's funny? I was unrelated, but totally related. I was just thinking about Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And because I saw this thing about
painting,
where
right?
Jim Carrey's painting, right? So I maybe like, what's Jim Carrey up to? Why come he doesn't act anymore? And you know why he doesn't act anymore? I don't know this, but I know why. Because he's super fucking rich.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
He'd rather paint.
Yeah.
He gets his artistic, I guess, freedom from that.
If you have like $200 million in the bank, would you want to go to work the next day? Or would you rather just paint?
I think I'd rather just paint.
Yeah.
He ran out of space in his house.
Yeah.
That was a great video, by the way.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
So before we get out of here, we didn't really get an email, but there was a Facebook thread that we had going. Definitely leave us comments on our Facebook page, facebook.com/thelastRowPod. I want to give a special shout out to Brian because he had a great idea for us. When we hit this 50th iTunes review, which we got another one, he says, in honor of your 50th iTunes review, you guys got to do a Van Damme movie, perhaps Time Cop, and then attempt to do the splits on the countertop like he does. And I think it's a great idea.
It's pretty dangerous.
I'll probably absolutely tear my groin.
That's pretty dangerous. That's an advanced move.
But the countertop of my house, you could kind of do that.
It's the same. It's the distance.
It's
a good
the
distance.
back.
If you think about it, like with balance, you would try to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you try to do it, and then you just tip sideways over, and then you just break your neck.
See, I feel like my legs would just go completely up. You know what I'm saying? Like completely up. Like they would snap up, and I would rip everything in my legs and
rip
muscle.
And break everything.
And
we do it all for you.
We got a new iTunes review too, so we are at, I believe, like 48 or something.
Whatever it is.
It's pretty damn close.
Yeah. Classic, 5 stars from Steven C. Gull.
It's a classic
No
name.
relation.
It's no relation.
Quality podcast with excellent banter, hypotheticals, and fun facts. Great pokes at synopsis, taglines, and viewer reviews. Favorite episode was the nostalgia episode. I guess our on-demand episode where we talked about our top five
nostalgia.
nostalgias. Awesome. Took me right back to the era. For the 30-ish crowd, this is in your wheelhouse. But don't pigeonhole us here, Steven Seagal. The kids love us too.
The kids,
all right?
yeah.
They probably don't love us.
With all the dicks we said today.
Yeah, they don't love us.
So many words.
The kids don't know who Pauly Shore is.
Yeah. That lame guy.
By the end of the podcast, they have exhausted every nook and cranny of the movie. Thanks for the entertainment. You two characters are going to Top Gun.
Which might be a future movie for us here. Might be a future movie for us.
To the... All right.
We are so close to that split. Yeah. I don't want to get there, actually. I'm just going to start deleting a bunch of reviews, actually.
You know what I'm close to, Drew?
What's that?
Close to bed.
Yeah, it's like 3 a.m. right now.
It's like 7 a.m. the next morning.
If you want to leave us...
Talking about cavemen and Pauly Shore for like 6 hours.
If you want to leave us a 5-star review, head out to Apple Podcasts, search for The Last Row Podcast. There's a link on our website, thelastrowpodcast.com. Leave us a 5-star review. We'll read it on the air. Thanks to everybody that took the time to leave us one. As mentioned, our website. We're on Twitter at The Last Row Pod, Facebook.com/TheLastRowPod. We are also on Instagram. We've been posting stuff to our story. We've been posting some of the movies that we're going to do. We're trying to get a lot more involved on Instagram, Instagram.com/TheLastRowPod. And I think that about does it. We'll see you guys next time. Wheeze the juice. Where did they come up with wheezing? Have you ever wheezed the juice?
I've never wheezed the juice. Disgusting.
Have you ever tried to wheeze the juice?
Never tried to wheeze the juice.
What about if it was a Coke slush, like after it gets like really good, where it's like on the borderline of like absolutely frozen?
Yeah, but what if someone before you just wheezed the juice?
And I guess
you're wheezing their juice.